His current mood was orange with flecks of red, which was the outer edge of dragon safety color. Or rather, normal people's safety when confronted with dragons. She froze when she met his gaze, and then got out of the way in a hurry, remembering to mutter a, "Please, come in," as she did. Hope remained flopped across her shoulders. If if the Archon was angry, her familiar didn't think he was angry at Kaylin. Helen's avatar appeared in the foyer. "Archon, we are pleased to invite you into our home. Mrs. Erickson has been in the kitchen all morning in anticipation of your visit." When Sanibellis opened his mouth, Helen added, "She insisted." There was a hint of warning in the two words. Sanibellis raised a single brow before offering Helen the nod he hadn't bothered to offer Kaylin. "I am certain I will find it delightful." "She is aware that dragons don't necessarily eat what the rest of us eat?" Kaylin asked. Helen smiled and failed to answer the question. "If you would join us in the dining room," the avatar said to the dragon, "we would be pleased." The dining room was fancier than the usual gathering space used when the cohort chose to saunter their way down the stairs. The chairs were larger and the tablecloth was lace. The plates were far fancier, as was the silverware, which was actually silver, at least by look. Helen, not trusting Kaylin completely, ushered Sanibellis to his chair. Kaylin glanced around, intending to take the chair farthest from the dragon. Sadly, that chair was already occupied by Tyranno. Mandorin was seated closer to the dragon, but Mandorin's experience living with Bellusdeo had made dragons less intimidating to him. Probably. Both Tyranno and Mandorin were blue-eyed, which was natural given the presence of the new Archon. Kaylin's eyes would have probably been a different color as well if human eyes shifted the way most other races did. She exhaled and took the chair to Sanibellis's right. His eyes had lost the red flecks, but not the rest of the orange, she knew because he was staring in her direction. He hadn't come here to see Mrs. Erickson. He'd come to grill Kaylin about something. She really wanted to skip breakfast and head to the halls of law early. Helen, however, did not approve of skipping breakfast, and Kaylin didn't need a lecture about the importance of the morning meal while a member of the Dragon Court was in attendance. She therefore had no easy escape route. Mrs. Erickson came into the dining room, still wearing the apron she wore when she worked in the kitchen. She was carrying a large tray. Mandorin rose instantly to retrieve said tray. Mrs. Erickson beamed at him. She then removed the apron and hung it over the back of her chair. Helen caused it to vanish. Mandorin set the tray where Helen indicated it should go, which was not on the table itself. It was on a small side table Helen had materialized for just that purpose. Helen then held Mrs. Erickson's chair out, and Mrs. Erickson sat. Mandorin returned to his own chair, his eyes less dark a blue. Mrs. Erickson was a hard person to fear or dislike, as both Mandorin and Tyranno proved. Anarian liked her, Sidarius liked her. The rest of the cohort largely kept to themselves, but over the past 2 weeks, the entirety of Mrs. Erickson's tenancy, Lauren had joined her in the kitchen as well. The kitchen was Mrs. Erickson's happy place. She had always baked for the hawks at the public desk in the halls of law, and she'd expanded that baking almost the minute she'd moved in. She liked to feed people. Her former housemates, being ghosts, couldn't eat. Her current housemates could. And Mrs. Erickson was, in Kaylin's admittedly pedestrian opinion, an excellent baker. Today's breakfast, while not sweet, showcased that baking. Pastry that contained breakfast-oriented meats and vegetables. Helen chose to serve. Clearly, this had been discussed before Mrs. Erickson entered the dining room because Mrs. Erickson didn't jump up from her seat in a rush to be helpful. She looked like she wanted to, though. Breakfast was not exactly a friendly, relaxed affair. Kaylin ate quickly. She always did. Helen hated it when she talked with her mouth full. And arguments about what constituted full had never worked out in Kaylin's favor. As Sanibellis was 2 days early and most of his attention was on Kaylin, she wanted a mostly empty mouth. Hope squawked. Sanibellis exhaled.